Hello and welcome to Unethical Hoops with Drago and Bulletproof. Today is episode 4. We're discussing Larry Bird, Larry Legend. Um, this is the fourth episode, but the second in the series of summarizing players' careers. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and hit the notification button. Don't forget to like and share the video. And let's get to it. First of all, hello, Elmar. What's up?
What up? What
Everything
up?
is good?
All right. So we're going through Larry Bird's career today. Um, yes.
Mhm. So my initial thoughts, because I did watch a lot of Larry Bird in the past, but I didn't watch him extensively in a short time like I did this week. And I gotta say, I think I learned more about him than I thought I would, because we have this perception about him that he was just, you know, a guy who scored a lot of points and was a high IQ passer, I guess. But when I looked at the games, I feel like he was very surgical with everything thing he did on the court. Like there is nothing he did that wasn't planned. It was everything was perfect. I don't know if that was like the way he was coached or it's something about his IQ, but it's not just the passes or his court vision. It's every single tiny detail of his game, every step he takes, every dribble, every hand movement, every like look he looks. It felt like everything was so surgical. And I think very few players in league history give me that impression, namely like Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, but we'll get to them when we make episodes about them. Larry Bird is also on a higher level than them from what I've watched. I don't know. Let me hear your initial thoughts.
I definitely agree with a lot of you say what you're saying. Like Larry Bird has this innate knowledge and understanding of where to fit on a basketball court. If you want to find maybe modern players to compare to in a minute, he almost has this. It's not even like a Steph Curry sense of just running around screens and then that gravity like pulls his people away. His off ball value is almost like a I'm going to say Derek. I say Derek White here in a sense where it's just making every single correct and right decision, but
Mhm.
like what I mean is it's the small details of things of just he had a play where someone runs around, he sets a screen from, and then quickly turns around for a post up under the basket. Like it's such an innate understanding of what he should do and just doing it every single time, just making small right plays all the time. And I also think he has this on the in rebounding. He really had a good understanding to where to position himself both on the defensive and offensive glass. And I also think he had a very high motor. So
Yeah,
I think
yes.
we'll get into it more when we get into it now here. But like he is definitely up there for the smartest players ever. At least, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the motor thing because I think no one talks about this part of his game. I think people look at him as like a more advanced version of like a Laurie Markkinen, but that's not what he is. He's not even like, because the comparison I used to do in the past was Jokic, and even Jokic is not an appropriate comparison. His motor was so high, he was so aggressive on both ends that it's impossible to find a player comparison for him from any era, really. There's no one like him. No one is even close enough to be like, okay, this is the same player prototype, but it's a different level. No, he's just one of a kind. And that's hard for a player who played like 45 years ago. He came to the league 45, 46 years ago, and up until this point, no one came after him that
A lot of
played.
people compared Luca to him because Luca's white, and that's about one of the only thing they have in common. Because Larry Bird is maybe anti Luka Doncic in a way he doesn't monopolize the ball. He doesn't have the ball every play. Some of they would give him the ball in post ups. They would run some pick and roll with him and McHale, but he's one of the best off ball players ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. People saw Luca and say he's a white guy that can shoot threes, and like, okay, that's Larry Bird. But Larry Bird is very unique. He is probably more like a Jokic, but without the post up high post game, more the just innate feelings of where to be. He is a bit of a mix up between like a Jokic and a Dirk, and a little bit of again I say Derek White in the and Manu is another people you could compare him to, where it's just this innate knowledge of what to do in every single situation. Manu is actually not a terrible comparison because Manu also had this where he could play off the ball, on the ball. His motor was running all the time. This just it's not the play style; it's more this basketball genius. Let's say it like this.
Yeah. I agree there with these names because it's all high IQ players. Like I said, the play style itself, not just the IQ, it's very unique. He doesn't actually touch the ball a lot. A lot of players, even the ones that we call efficient, like that don't have a very high usage, like a Steph or a Jokic, they still get like many more touches than he does. When you look at the way he plays, he's just very efficient with every touch, that he doesn't need to touch the ball a lot. The first move he makes with the ball.
He's probably the most complete off ball player ever. Now Steph is better because Steph is obviously the best shooter ever. And Reggie maybe runs more and gets around screens more, so he might be more valuable. But I think like Larry had anything you could do off the ball. We never think about off ball passing because you can't pass without the ball. But there's this where he runs off the screen immediately, like as soon as he touches the ball, the ball is just gone from his hand. Like these touch passes, he was probably the goal at that. Like these quick touch patches, like just knowing when he's running off the ball, what's happening around him. And as soon as he touches the ball, he doesn't need to scan, doesn't need to do anything. He just quickly skips it into the in for a layup or hit someone else on a front open three or anything. Like he's probably the most complete off ball player ever, I'd say. Steph is obviously better because his motor was even higher running off the ball because his conditioning is crazy and his shooting obviously is such a weapon. And when he gets a mitch, like you can't just switch him running off the ball because if he gets a big on him, he'll just get him off the dribble. So in that sense, like Steph is better off the ball, but Larry is probably the most complete off ball player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree, but I think it's even with the ball, like the first touch is always very. It's he
Risky.
doesn't just catch the ball and then decide what to do. He knows exactly what he's going to do before he touches the ball, and his first move is always the climax of the play. Every position, the first thing he does with the ball, the moment he receives it, the decision is decided. Like the play is decided, whether it's a dribble inside, like a turnaround dribble, a shot, he knows exactly how to manipulate the position from the first touch and do something that probably no one on the court knew he was going to do. And he's impossible to guard in that regard because he has every move. When you look at these first touch moves, he has every move. He can dribble inside, he can dribble to the outside, he can do a one dribble pull up. He can pull up right away without a dribble, even with his back to the basket. He has every move on the first touch from everywhere on the court that makes it impossible to like deny him a specific strength that makes it difficult for him to do certain things. No one made it difficult for him because no one knew what he was going to do anyway. He could do everything. I
Okay,
think someone's trying to join. Let me check.
there is someone trying to join.
Yep, that's football, I think.
Oh, football's here. Let's go.
Yep. Uh, I also
What
want to
up, football?
share
Oh,
the
what's good?
thing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What-
Yes, sir.
Oh
Share the
shit.
video in the group. Share the video in the group and tell them we're live. I don't know if anyone is watching.
Uh,
No one is watching. So,
What up,
hello,
football?
football. What's up?
good. Sorry. What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear you. So we
What?
just went
So,
through our initial just our initial thoughts on Larry Bird. What's your thoughts on Bird when you're watching him?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep.
you.
What y'all talking about? I just saw you guys posted the link.
Today we're going through Larry Bird's career,
Oh, for real?
but I think we might if you don't have any initial thoughts, I think Amir might have a take that will involve you very quickly. He posted in the group, if you know what I mean, Amir.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I just came to check in, but I'm just busy. I didn't know you were talking about Larry Bird's career. Honestly, I need to watch more Bird tape. I feel like it's crazy. Like that shit. His like the '80s are like 40 years ago now. It's,
It
it's
is 40
crazy.
years ago. That's crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
So okay,
Uh,
Amir actually posted said this in the group. He says that a certain Larry Bird is better than Nikola Jokic on offense, and I would think you might agree with that.
I just my whole thing with Jokic on offense is that too often, and we'll see because we're a year away from 2023 being an outlier season,
oh
and
my
you already got
god.
you got no. In terms of his
I asked him.
postseason,
It's fine. It's
Go on,
fine.
go on, go on. Go
in
on, go
terms
on.
in terms of his postseason success, and like Jokic is a great player. It's never been my estimation he's not a great offensive player. I just have a lot of reference points where I think that Jokic's offense gets overrated because people see and I get it, like the efficiency numbers, and all the from three mid range, it looks great, right? But anytime I've seen Jokic being made to make a lot of jump shots where he's turned into a jump shooter, and we've seen it before. We saw it when they played, was it OKC or Minnesota? He took 10 threes. Like anytime you see Jokic have to take a volume level of jump shots where he doesn't get into that floater range, that offense, that all-time efficiency never is maintained. We've seen it plenty of times. Like, and he can be made to be put in a play style to where teams can make him take a lot of jumpers. And then all of a sudden, when he takes a lot of jumpers, we don't see that all-time efficiency. Like,
I will
it,
say for Larry Bird is actually has a lot of these things you're describing because Larry Bird's one big ward as a scorer was his finishing. If you
mhm,
see it on tape all the time, like because he's not that vertically gifted as an athlete, and he also not as big as Jokic because he's not as vertical gifted as a LeBron or or Michael or whatever.
right,
You can't really his finishing at the rim is very below par,
hmm
but which is in the playoffs, his efficiency also actually drops down a lot of these series. We're talking like in the playoffs compared to his regular season
right,
because people really took the jump shot away and tried to force him to go to the rim where they made him with challenges and he had to do these things. But I think the thing with Jokic compared to Bird as a finisher is that Jokic has this more ability to just shoot at absurd angles. If I think we've all
right,
seen Jokic roll to the rim and just throw up things that doesn't look right. But I think with Bird, it is that he doesn't have this. He doesn't give it up on defense on the other side.
right.
Where
I have to watch more, to more Bird. To be honest, like to be honest, I have a lot of interest. Like I don't just watch. Like I know I speak a lot about basketball and contribute on the channel, but I love soccer. I love video games. I can't watch every game, so I watch the games when I can, and I have a decent idea of like at least the current players and the strengths and weaknesses. But it's like playoffs, I really watch, most games. So I have a good idea of people's playoff translations. My thing with Jokic is like, for instance, he had a great offensive game against who did they just play?
they played, who they played,
Was it who they
they
just
played the
lose?
Timberwolves
The
Sunday.
Knicks, the Knicks,
Yeah, they
right?
played the Knicks.
They just played the Knicks, right, and lost by 40. But it's like my whole thing with Jokic when they talk about his impact. I'm like, great offensive player, but it's like legitimately in that Lakers game, he gave up more points than he scored or created. He just did. Like the defense is just I don't know, man. Like when the people say he's the greatest all-time big, I'm just like, sure, he's
I
great.
think very few people say that. To be fair, there. I hear it. Don't worry, I do hear it. I
People
will
say he's
say
the greatest offensive big, and it's like, I mean,
I do think he's the best offensive big ever. Like the
it's
other ones would
debatable.
be Shaq and Kareem, and like Shaq doesn't get that playoff dropper marking as much, but because he was so good in the finals. But like in the finals, he also played Yumi and Bulletproof as centers. So
Right. Sure.
like
But I mean, who did Jokic play in the finals?
played
That would
Bam.
really. I know, but how? Like, but Bam to me is like, I mean, come on, like Bam is great, but in terms of like him, Jokic worried about him scoring or like punishing Jokic. Like Bam's not a great offensive center.
Oh no, not
Yeah,
at
you know what I'm
all. He
saying.
played
So it's like
eight.
that's
He
the
played.
perfect. Like the greatest shame. I've always said this about this era. The greatest shame about this era of basketball is that we will never see a series. We never have seen a series. Jokic versus Giannis, Giannis versus Embiid, Embiid versus Jokic. You know how sad that is.
That is really annoying. I would have loved to have seen like a Embiid Jokic final. No, I'm not
Yeah,
going to, but
or
at
it's
least
just a series. We just never seen the best big men, like the MVP level big men, face off in a series against each other. They were just like to really get an assessment. You know what I mean? So
but
I
I
mean,
will also
it's,
say
it's not Jokic's fault. Embiid is just
no. I'm not
another.
blaming Jokic. I'm not blaming Jokic at all for this.
I'm
I'm just saying that the way
I,
it panned out, we just never got it for some reason.
maybe you get
No, I
maybe it
agree
was
with
good.
you. I actually, I'm team Shaq here. Like I'm not going, and also not just Shaq. I think Kareem is also better than Jokic offensively, but that's another story for a different. Like we need to talk about Larry Bird because we haven't even started
Yeah,
the
yeah.
season.
Talk about
I will
Bird.
finish
The
up on
season,
one thing on this conversation is that if Bird played today, he would have a lot of these Jokic issues because one, he would play the four. He could not play the three because he can't guard threes today. And two, his foot speed would just be every single time they would go after it.
Yeah, probably.
I do
I think
think
him playing the four
Jokic
today would be good.
Jokic
He
gets
did have-
hurt so much from the era he plays in on defense. And like people say, oh, Dirk would be awesome in today's spacing. Dirk would be put in
He'd
every
be
pick and
food.
roll you could ever
Yeah.
find. Nash, every pick and roll you could find. Magic, 100. Bird.
I will say though, I think the problem with also, I think it's actually in today's era, I think it's easier to hide perimeter players, and this is probably why I think Steph is probably the best offensive player ever, because I don't think he's as a detriment defensively. I think it's easier to exploit bad offensive bigs than it is to exploit perimeter, like quote unquote bad perimeter. Maybe that's just a bias, but like
No, I
when you're
agree.
the when you're
I
the
think it's the game.
center and you're bad defensively, it's like damn.
Yeah.
Like
It's not
you
just this
can't.
era, though. I think it's a general
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. In
Centers
general,
have to
like
be, they
I
have
will
to be
yeah,
good defensive.
in like the 90s and 80s, I think you could hide it more because you could have a secondary big with him. Where you
true.
can't do that as much here. Where they do play two bigs a bit more now, but that's like Evan Mobley, Shed. Like it's harder to find that two big lineup. Where in the
Right.
80s, okay, Jokic can't. We'll put Jokic in the Thor, and then we will find, I don't know, I say Hakeem, Patrick Ewing, and then they'll be our five and be our defensive like anchor. Like you can't do that
Yeah.
now. So I
Yeah,
do
but
think
here's
that
the thing: if you're a center and you're perfect second, like if we look at every all-time great and we try to find the perfect match for every all-time great, having
KG,
your perfect match be another big man, and in this instance, it would most likely be Kevin Garnett. I think that's a detriment.
would be
Like,
everyone.
if you're a center, you're ideally, your best match should be a guard, or at least a perimeter player. The fact that Jokic's best match would be KG, who himself needs a guard because he doesn't function well without guards,
I
that
think the
makes it.
Jokic KG front court would be all right without an elite guard.
That'd be
That's
nasty, of course.
And I know, of course, because they are two all-time greats, the team would be nasty just because they have both of them. But I'm talking about the team itself could be very weak because they spent all of their salary cap on the front court.
Right.
They would have like a weak rest of the team. I mean, you don't have that balance. But yeah, I mean,
But
we need to go back to Larry Bird.
you go.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I know you guys talking about Larry Bird. I don't have too much to add about Larry Bird. Great. I think he's a great rebounder and one of the best passers of all time.
I'll say one thing quickly, football, because next week I'm hoping we can do the most overrated players ever, and I feel like that would be right in your wheelhouse.
Oh, whenever you guys do it, I'll definitely like to. I would have to do some more research, but yeah, I definitely have a list at least of since like the 20th century. I could
Yes, sir.
I could do that.
Right.
So
we'll get started on Larry Bird. I hope we can do most overrated.
But
players.
y'all keep doing this show. Good
Yes,
luck
sir.
to y'all, and
Yep.
yeah, peace.
Thanks for
Appreciate
pulling
it.
up.
Leave a like,
Thank you for
football.
pulling
Leave a
up.
like.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get started. That was a fun one. Okay,
Shout out to
1980.
football. Yeah.
Let's get the basics down. This is
All right.
his.
Yeah. Go on.
I just want to say this is his rookie year. Obviously, he actually it's not his draft that they are the year after he was drafted, because Larry Bird was actually drafted in the '78 draft because the Celtics just picked someone that hadn't declared for the draft yet, and they just let him sit in college for a year. So they got him. I think it was like fourth or fifth in the draft. So he sits in college, and then they get Larry Bird in the same year as Magic Johnson enters the league. He finishes fourth in MVP, first team All NBA, Rookie of the Year, and I think he plays most of the games. He does. He plays all 82.
We have
He's
Jason
from-
Grills. Let's
Oh, shout out
welcome
to-
Jason Grills.
Yo, what's
to
up?
the- What's up?
Man.
Oh,
What's up?
This is a minute since I've been on one of these. How y'all
What up,
doing?
brother?
How y'all
Nair?
doing?
So we're just getting started with 1980 Larry Bird, and I just wanted to also say they won 61 games that year. So
And he finished fourth in MVP, by the way.
fourth in
Just-
MVP, first team All NBA as a rookie. That was Larry
Yep.
Bird's rookie. That's
Well,
probably
ironically, he was not the only white guy in that first team All NBA, which is a random fact, but I felt the need to say it because it's people think he was the only one at the time, but shout out to Paul
As a
Whisper.
rookie, he was probably like a top. He was probably one of the 5 best players right there. And then, as
Yep.
soon as he
Right.
entered that league,
First team All NBA, fourth team MVP.
who was
and,
the other guy, Amir? You said
Paul Westphal. He would
Paul
play for
Westphal.
Phoenix. Yeah, played for Phoenix.
so.
With averaging 25 and 5 something.
I think rookie Larry Bird is probably a little bit underrated because people have this belief that Magic Johnson was the best out of the gate of those two because of that Game 6 and the fake Finals MVP he got in 1980. So, I mean, I'll call it fake because a TV producer giving you a Finals MVP.
didn't that saying finals Magic had he didn't break the record for turnovers and some shit like that?
Yes, he broke it. I think it was like the game before.
I
Game
mean,
6.
Kareem didn't even attend the game, so what were they supposed to do?
There, I forgive it to Kareem. He was so clearly the best player in that series, but
He didn't even go. I don't even know why he didn't attend the game. He was watching on TV. That's crazy.
they flew commercial and they probably just wanted him to stay home and rehab because I think they would still go this game 7 was in Los Angeles, but I'm not actually sure. But he would I think he would have tried to play for game 7. It was like an ankle issue. But Larry Bird, what's the thoughts on rookie Larry Bird? Grills, do you have anything that you think?
I think he's probably one of the best rookies I've ever seen. I'll start off with that. I think in the terms of I think in terms of being ahead of the game, I don't think I think him, not even like LeBron. I don't think I can name more than like 2 to 3 rookies who, as soon as they came into the league, their mind was just so far ahead of everybody else, just their IQ alone. Like he knew what to do a lot of the time. It's, like I know that sounds like simple, but it's just really as simple as that. He just knew what to do. He knew exactly what plays that he wanted to do. He knew exactly, okay, this guy's might be here. He knew exactly what. He didn't even have to watch the team. There were times like I've watched interviews where the guy tells me that he didn't even watch certain teams and he just knew their whole playbook immediately, just by knowing their characteristics of their team. I'm thinking to myself like, how many rookies can come into the game saying they know your team inside and out just from knowing your players, not even watching any of your sets?
Mhm.
He is definitely up there for probably the smartest rookie ever. I
Yeah,
think I what I'd also say is, as like past the merger, I would probably say he's the best rookie ever, because pre-merger you have like big men who comes in and win MVP in their first year. But like besides those guys, then I
We got
feel
like the
like
Bill Russells of the world probably up there too.
Bill Wilt, I think, had a really good rookie year. Wes
yeah, he did.
Unseld
He
won
obviously he
MVP his
did.
rookie year, but that's seen as a weak MVP. And then if you go post merger, you have Tim Duncan is probably the other one you would have to mention.
Yes,
Both
Yeah, Tim
guys
Steve,
who
Duncan.
those talks.
stayed in
And
college
Tim
for.
Duncan was very smart as well. But Larry Bird's IQ as a rookie is what stood out to me when I was watching, because I watched the game between him and Magic in their rookie year, and there's a clear gap. I'm sorry, like the gap was clear to me. But of course, let me just point out Magic was injured. He was playing injured. So it's not really the Magic. Rookie Magic is still better than he did in that game, but still, like, there was a clear difference between them in terms of who the smarter player was. And Larry Bird was just the smartest player on the court outside of Kareem, probably, which is saying a lot because that team, actually, that Celtics team, had a very interesting roster. They had like Pistol Pete, they had Dave Cowens was still there, and they even had a role player who was from the Bill Russell year. That was his final year. He played with Bill Russell as a rookie in '69, and he retired in Larry Bird's after Larry Bird's rookie season. So
Yeah.
this succession thing with the Celtics, I just wanted to point it out because of what.
Cedric Maxwell as well was also a really good player on
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
team.
but that's like one of the core players. I'm just talking about this to mention something that
Mm.
girls mentioned about the playbook. I think the Celtics had this thing during Red Auerbach's years of like succession. They didn't give up their players easily. It was always whenever someone is leading the team, the older players from the previous generations were there. So Bill Russell took the team from Bob Cousy after winning with Bob Cousy. And then you had John Havlicek after he won with Bill Russell. He won again. Dave Cowens entered and they won together. And then Dave Cowens played with Larry Bird before he retired. So I think that's an important note to mention because, of course, that continuation was cut off because of Len Bias' untimely passing. They relied on him to be that next guy, or Reggie Lewis, who was also very good, but again, um, like the Celtics in the '90s were just unfortunate. But the succession thing is probably part of the reason he had the mentorship he needed. He had Pistol Beat, who was a basketball legend at the time. They had Red Auerbach in the front office, and they had
Uh,
players from the Bill Russell era still on the team. Like the team had veterans, real veterans. And Dave Cowens was their starting center, even though it was his final year. He was the starting center.
I'll
So yeah,
also say the year before Bird, they won 29 games. They
yep.
add Larry Bird,
Man,
won 61. Then the year after Larry Bird's rookie year, then that's when their name?
You
Robert
could
Parrish and Kevin McHale comes in.
you could
So like
just tell like
a
the
rookie
impact within rookie
swinging from
season.
29 to 61 wins. That's probably not all
And
him.
they were top five in both offense and defense.
That's I feel like that says something. Like that's really incredible impact. And
Because
like
if you go watch the games and like before he got drafted, because I've done this, I wanted to see exactly how good his impact was. The offense on that team and defense were so uncreative. Like you have times where they don't even know when they should shoot or take a layup. Larry Bird was on that team. He's acts like mid game. He's telling his team, this are the gaps you have to run through to actually get to the rim because his teammate didn't know this. So I'm watching this like thinking like this guy's a rookie. He's coaching people who's probably been on his team for like 5 years in game. And to me, like forget like the whole because people knock his playoff scoring. They knock his lack of like defense besides of being like in a team scheme. But just the ability to be able to be I don't want to say like a leader, but just being able to be I guess it's kind of like a leader, like a vocal presence to always keep your team in line. That's very important to me, especially as an offensive player, at least the player he was.
yes, I think this is obviously the first year. So of course this is run one right now, but we could probably go to 1981.
Yeah, but one last thing about that year, and it applies to the next 2 years as well. The point guard of that team was Tiny Archibald, another legend of the 70s. And he was back after a full year out. Like they tried to trade him and they couldn't because he was out for a year. And he was declining. Of course, he was old. He was like in his 30s. And he was like, he made a comeback year in that rookie season and the year after, too. He was one of the league leaders in assists, and he was setting up the team really well, actually. Like, he was still the offensive engine, not Larry Bird. Larry Bird was more of the best player, like the scorer, but he was not the engine yet. I just wanted to say that because if you guys watched some games in his rookie season, Tiny Archibald was really good, really good.
Do you think a part of the reason he was also really good because Larry Bird was also just really good at relocating where he needed to go just to get the ball?
Yes. Yes,
So
I think that's
that really did help that really did help his assist numbers. Not that he didn't deserve those assist numbers, but that also helped his assist number. That helped his team. That helped, and it also helped the fact that the guy always knew he always knew where to be open for him to get the ball, and that will always help your team at the same time because then your team will always be open because the enemy, like the other team will always have to know, dang, where's Larry at? It's kind of like how what Steph does, but not gonna say impact. But
yes, really. I think you're hitting the nail right on the head there. I think one of the things with Larry is because he was so good off the ball, he could fit with these ball dominant players like a Tiny who maybe needs the ball more and have the ball in his hand. He can just play off Larry, like Larry can play off him, run around, set screens, be the right place, set guys up, and Tiny can find it and Luke create like a Draymond Steph dynamic almost, where because
Yep.
Steph can fit with a guy who needs the ball like Draymond,
Mhm.
like that just brings so much value. And I think you're like Larry Bird's presence just helps so many plays develop because he can move so well off the ball.
Yep. Let's go to year two.
So I think we should 1981 Larry Bird. This is
Second in MVP. Second in MVP voting from year two. I think on year three as well. He lost it to Dr. J, child Dr. J. Uh, yeah, but
this is when the gap between him and Magic was probably at this point. You argue Magic and Larry Bird is just all right, bro. You're just yapping to me. Like it's yapping at this point.
anything Magic and Bird pre '84, I want to say, when they really started playing Magic at point guard, is a non discussion.
Even then, like, because this year was, in my opinion, one of Magic's worst years. So you couldn't even argue this.
Yes.
And this is the year where Larry Bird just leaped into that. Oh, okay, now I'm someone who can shoot, score. I can play good team defense with the best of them. Oh, I guess now I'm just a elite passer. I guess I'm just an elite
We
passer.
we actually ranked this Magic season last when we did it last time.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
because of the time.
Except for '96, but like of the real seasons, it was last. And then they also they win the championship. Cedric Maxwell ends up winning Finals MVP. I think it's a highly contested Finals MVP because there's
Yeah,
some people that believe that Bird had like an innate value even though he didn't score himself, where he still created a lot of things because of his off-ball movement, him being in the engine, and so
the
on. But
rebounding.
he did also have two 8-point games in that series.
Yeah, he
So
had a
Yeah.
lot of rebounds, but also Cedric Maxwell was really good that series, exceptionally. Like that wasn't who he was generally, but in that series he was like the best version of himself. While Larry declined, well, it wasn't a Steph Iggy situation. This one was actually like
yeah,
Cedric Maxwell actually played really well. It wasn't just a narrative about him stopping someone. It was actually a deserved, in a way at least. Like you could say Larry Bird deserved it, but I'm not going to say that Cedric Maxwell did not deserve it. He played really well. And speaking of closely contested, he actually also in the MVP race, it was also closely contested. Like I don't know if it was that year or the year after. The one that Dr. J won. It was very close. Like Larry Bird almost won it. So
yes, Larry got 423 MVP points, and Dr. J got 454. So it was like eight votes that had to swing the either way. Funny enough, Phil Ford and Adrian Dantley both got first place vote, and
Was this
Kelvin
when
Ramsey.
was this
There's
when players voted or
no, I want to say players stopped voting around right before here, but
hmm.
players voting.
actually, the year before had a funny like uh, MVP list. You look at 1980s MVP race, not the race, but like the list is funny. Just it's like they had like some players. I mean, Jamal Wilkes had more MVP votes than his teammate Magic Johnson. That
81 is actually the first year with player voting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
oh yeah.
So was Bird was he better than Dr. J at this point in time to you?
I don't think so.
Better than who?
Dr. J, was he better to you?
I what would I say? I think he's better on offense, and I also don't know how much in love I am with Dr. J's defense, but I think you can definitely make a strong case for Larry in
I think
81.
regular season wise, Larry was definitely just a better player. I think regular season wise, he was probably the best player in the world to me.
That
I
No,
think, but I
Kareem
think
Kareem was still the best player in
Kareem
the world.
Kareem is the other
I
one.
I think that playoffs are just. I think tours like that. When you watch that season, and then tours like that playoffs, you can tell that something. I don't know what about. I don't know if it's the strength that was like the lack of strength at the time that he had that was killing him, or experience or whatever. He just couldn't make shots sometimes. He'd get bumped and he just couldn't make a shot. I don't I don't know if that's a balance thing or what else. I don't know what changed after that. It's just he get bumped, couldn't make a shot sometimes. That's all it was. And every
Yeah,
time where he's easily
his speed.
sped, I can easily get sped up too by like faster teams. That they were actually making him take some of the worst mid range shot selections I've seen him take in his career. And I don't know what caused him from the regular season to the playoffs to this match to become a worse shot maker to that degree.
I do think the finishing is a big part of the playoff dropping because
Yeah.
he doesn't really get these super efficient rim shots like most great scorers does because he lacks that vertical athleticism at the rim. I think I think that is probably what hurts him. There was also I saw this stat on Thinking Basketball, so don't hate me for it if it's wrong, but they had this that he shot worse from free and like just in general on jump shots versus weak teams versus good teams compared to weak teams. So there's probably something also to that the good teams could really zero in on him and really try to limit these things. But when we say limit, this is not him being terrible. This is him going from the best offensive player ever, maybe, to a really good offensive player. But that's a significant drop.
Yeah, it is a significant drop, but I also have to say this, and I don't like saying stuff like this because I'm not an Iratex guy, but he was getting beaten inside. Like that bad finishing part of it was the whistle back then was non existent. And I've seen them calling travels on him that I don't know where they came from. Like there was a play
The offensive whistle was crazy in like the early 80s, 70s. Like they would call anything an offensive foul or travel or
yeah, there
whatever.
was a play I it was like 11 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't remember the game though. I want to go and get the game, but it was a great I still don't I didn't even see him take two steps, let alone three. And they called a travel when he was pulling up for a shot. He was like arguing with the referee, like, what did I do? And I was like, this was a travel, and the play before, he got an offensive rebound and he was pushed, and it was not, I mean, he of course didn't make the shot. It was not called a foul. So, like, again, that applies for everyone. So I'm not saying that like he gets a pass because of course players back then faced the same thing and they managed to finish well. So that's shout out to them, shout out to Kareem and them. Dr. J too, he was a great finisher. But I'm just saying, like when you watch these games and what they were calling against him, that's why I was disagreeing with you earlier when you mentioned if he played today he would struggle under the basket. That's what I was going to say. I don't think he would struggle under the basket today because of they will not get away with what they used to stop him with.
No, I think he would struggle on defense.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
maybe.
I don't think he'd struggle like on offense. I think on defense he would just get 100 on every play because he was very slow footed and a lot of quick guys would just call this guy up like this every time. That was
Yeah, I'm talking about the finishing, the offense, not
yeah.
defense.
I think today's game would help him a lot with finishing because you can be more creative with your angles because there's not arms everywhere.
Boy, you think Con Connect was good. Larry Bird today.
That's actually a thing with Bird I want to discuss with you guys. Do you think how much do you think him not taking threes hurt his game? Because I do think it's noticeable that he should have taken. He had shots where he just take a step back. He would have shot a three instead of a two, and that would probably have helped both his efficiency and his scoring numbers.
That applies to a lot of players
I think
from.
that's just the league, yo. That was just
Yeah,
the
that's
time.
definitely the league, but I do think because it's there's always someone who ends up like breaking the rules of the game, like how Stefan did in 2016. So I think if he could have been, I'm not saying he should take like 10 threes a game, but like at this point he's taking two and one three a game, and later on he ends up taking three to four. So do you think just when you are one of the best free, like in his from 85 to 88, he shoots like 42 to 41% on like two to four a game. But right now he's taking like one a game and shooting like 27%.
It was
Yeah,
probably just too new. That's all I can. I think it's just too new. I think the fact that yeah, I remember the 3 point line was added. I think the year he
His
got
rookie year was the
there. Yeah,
first
so
year.
like I think it was just way too new for him. It was too new for any coach, anybody. Like I think at some point in your mind as like a basketball player or anything for any job you do. I think when you try to go so far outrun the norm of what's happening around you when it comes to especially basketball, you kind of afraid that your team might go off rhythm, the coach might not like it, might get criticized. You don't know if you're gonna be good doing it. That's kind of just going through your thoughts, so that might be the reason. It's
Yeah.
he probably could have taken more threes, and he probably could have just not settle for some of the terrible mid-range shots and some of the terrible try that come sometimes trying to get through the paint and then just turning the ball over because he can't just step over somebody, he can't just burst over somebody. He didn't have that. Maybe
Yeah,
taking a step back three would have been better, but we just don't know until we see it. I guess is one of those things.
yeah. And also, I want to ask: do you mean that later in his career that three wasn't enough, or are you talking about the early part when he
I
wasn't?
also think later three wasn't enough. Like I feel like I watch a game and then I was like, if you made that one or two spot ups a 3-pointer instead of a 2-pointer, like like 2 more points a game on the same efficiency do move a lot in terms of just efficiency points and
I
points
agree
per
with you
game.
generally. I'm just saying, like early on, when he was not
Like
taking
early on,
threes,
it was so new, and you probably wasn't that good at it that yet because like you haven't practiced it yet. So I mean
he
that's
was
fair.
taking a lot of middies though,
Yeah,
long middies. So I think he could have shot early. Like I agree with you late in the later part because he was a better shooter, but at the same time, I feel like that's just the league, like Girl said.
yeah.
But early on, there were a lot of players taking more threes than him, and I don't know if they were better shooters than him. I think he should have taken more in the first few years.
His
Uh,
coach Bill Fitch was his coach was also very against against shooting threes. It's very
yeah,
traditional old school coach. So
Boomer.
yes, he was
He
like
had a Boomer coach.
he's
Yeah,
probably
back
like mid
back
ball.
back then we just justified long twos or just a three. You step back a little bit, you get one extra point. For some reason, a long two was better. I didn't get it, but
Yeah, it's funny. But is there anything more to say about 81?
Not really. I mean, the that was his first, like you said, championship. It. By the way, we didn't mention the playoffs in '80. He actually played well when he lost. He didn't decline in his rookie season. Second season, he played worse, but he won, which is ironic. So now we go to year three. Which year do you think is better, though? Two or one? Like I think it's two, right? Like that's we have to put year
I'd say
two is definitely. But the passing got a lot better in two, in my opinion.
yeah.
So I think that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah, the passing. I mean, Tiny Archibald was still a point guard, but Larry Bird was more of he
Larry,
became more involved in the playmaking compared to in
he
his
went
rookie
he went
season.
from like a I can't pass to I'm probably like the third best passer or second best passer in the league.
He goes from his rookie year from his rookie year he's at 5.9 assists per 100 possessions, and in his second year he's 6.6. So like, and
It's
then the
not that
next year he's 7.2. So like it scales up as he gets into the league, but that's also normal. You get with your teammates. This is also the first year of Michaela Harris, by the way. We didn't mention that. But
yeah.
we
By
can,
the way, I want to say, but I know it's irrelevant, but Tiny Archibald played a lot like modern point guards. He was
yes,
pushing the tempo,
Hmm.
and I like when I was watching him, I felt like this is an underrated point guard right there. Like we don't talk about him enough, especially his older years. Whenever he's mentioned, it's always, oh, he led the league in scoring and assists in one season. But I'm talking like his later stage, that stage of his career. Yes, his numbers weren't that impressive, like 14 and 8, but he was very involved in every play, and he was a very fast-paced player. And his dribbling and penetrating, like I think he helped Larry Bird, not just the other way around. I think he did help young Larry Bird focus more on improving his game rather than being burdened with all of the responsibilities that he was burdened with later on when he peaked. Early on, he had the chance to just focus on what he did best. But uh, yeah, so I think like yes, he improved as a playmaker in year 2, year 3, but at the same time, I would say that having another great point guard in the team was definitely not holding him back. It was helping him. Because usually it does hold some players back, but in his case, it was not.
So if we go to 81, 82, this is his third year in the league. The Celtics end up winning 63 games. He is once again second in MVP. He actually also makes second team all defense, by the way, and was first team all NBA. His his points go up a little bit in his points per game, and like I said before, he does get a little more involved with the passing, averaging more assists per 100 possessions and per game also.
This is the year he got injured too, right? He came off the pinch, I think.
Yeah, actually he comes off the bench for like 20 games and he misses five.
Yeah, he was injured and he came off the bench after the return and he started right before the playoffs. He started in April, I think. So
This is one of the years when people really drive home the he can't score in the playoffs stuff. Like this is crazy year when he just couldn't score really.
I mean, I don't know why he came off the bench for 20
It
games
was a
after
cheekbone injury, actually. He had a cheekbone injury.
that's a weird place to get injured in. But yeah, I mean, uh, he was injured for a short time, but after he came back from the injury, he was playing regular minutes but off the bench. Uh, he was like Kevin McHale replaced him in the starting lineup, and that was the first year Kevin McHale started playing heavy minutes. Whether he started or Larry started, they both played a lot of minutes, some of it together. And yeah, he came back to the starting lineup right before the playoffs.
They lose in seven actually to the 76ers, which I don't know would have been a fun little Magic Bird series extra one we could have gotten in 82 if they had won. But he actually like he averages like 7 points per 100 under his regular season scoring. So this is like pretty big drop off from 28 to 21.
Insane, yeah. And also, these series are very close, man. Like the rookie season loss, even though it was, I think, a sweep or a gentleman's sweep, if I remember, all of the games were very close. And this one also, it was a 7 game series, and he played bad, but it was still a 7 game series. That shows you how stacked that team was. Like, let's give some credit to his teammates while we're at it because these
Yes.
guys were carrying him sometimes.
I don't think that last game was very close, personally. I think that last
Not
game,
the last one, but
that
the
last one was that was definitely that was done.
like it's a 7 game series despite him playing like this.
There
So
was one close game in that whole series. 76 was one game three, 97, 99. Every other game was like plus 8 or more. So
all right. So that was which year is better now? We didn't talk like year 3 or year 2, but I guess that's also obvious. So now we have year 4. Uh, so we need to like start ranking the years because with Magic we're doing it
yes, it's
every
gonna.
year.
So is it wrong to say 1981 was better than 1980? 1982, I
No,
mean.
82. I mean,
1982.
That 81 would be the best year we have so far.
82 was definitely worse than 81 to me. I think 81. I think that playoff dropping he did was just too much for me. I think 81 is definitely a playoff drop. I think 82 was like, God damn, bro. Like, come on.
yeah, the drop was crazy, and also the injury. So yeah, let's start. Like that's a less linear ranking so far. The Magic was like every year was better than the one before. This is a zigzag so far. So
Yeah.
yeah, year four. How about year four?
Here, year four is 1983. It is the last season they have Bill Fitch as a coach. He ends up still second in MVP. He actually has 8 years of either second, first, and then one third place vote in those 8 years as MVP.
That is
He is
crazy.
second team all defense again. His points go up a little bit. Assists stays around the same as 82. And if we go and look at the playoffs, there's still like a little drop, but this is more normal, like a 2.3 point drop.
This is around a time where he can actually get to the basket and do something. This is around a time where I don't know what he was on that year, but the man could have missed it too. Sometimes, like there would just be games where he just wouldn't miss.
That was the year they got Dennis Johnson, right?
Um,
Not
no,
yet. Oh, so it was the
no,
year after.
he
Okay.
gets
So
there before.
who was the point guard that year?
It was Tiny still there in 83.
Oh, I thought he was there only for 3 years. Maybe I skipped that year when I was doing the research. I don't remember anything about that year. So I guess go on. I don't know much about that year then.
They end up losing, getting swept by the Milwaukee Bucks in the conference semifinals.
Holy shit. Okay.
So while he doesn't drop as much as he did before, he does also maybe play weaker teams in the playoffs because this is the first year they introduced a first round. So the year
Okay.
before, he only played the semifinals and the finals of the conference semifinals and the finals, and that obviously means you probably play tougher teams. So I know we said the playoff drop that might have been why the playoff dropping didn't look as severe without checking each series. But yeah, the Celtics win 56. The Celtics wins 56 games. I don't even remember which game I looked at for this, but I feel like it was probably. I think I watched a regular season game. I actually can't remember. But what is there to say about this? I think he still is more. He gets more involved, and in the offense just in general. I think the next year is where he really takes off as this all-time great player when they get Casey Jones in instead of Bill Fitch.
I
To
think
my
at
eye,
this point he's still more of an off-ball player more than an
yes.
on-ball player. I think
Yeah.
that's what was holding him back. I think now I think about it, that's probably one thing that holds him back for just really going off in the playoffs. I think that's just kind of. I think it's actually hurting him on the fact that he's not able to leverage his all-time passing ability because him on the ball, if you watch those series, like, he's looking like Katie now. It was that bad at that point.
I also think he gets the post game a little more involved as we go later on, where they had series where they would. It was a game from the '86 season where they played the Lakers and McHale was out. They basically just used him like Kevin McHale and just had him post up every single time, give him the ball, and he would either find a pass or beat this guy for a bucket. So I do think we're about to go to the next level, but I don't. I do without being. Let's I would probably say also because he does end up passing a bit more in the playoffs, but I am a little. I do think this is maybe around where 82 and 81 is. I don't think there's that much of a difference, but it also says something that Larry Bird was so good so early that there's not this big jump from year one. to Yid.
Yeah, he's second in MVP. How much of a jump can he go from there? I mean, he did make
He's
the
not
jump
doing it.
eventually. Eventually, he did with the 3 consecutive
Oh,
MVPs.
he was third in Defensive Player of the Year. Shout out to
He
that.
he was what?
Third in Defensive Player of the Year.
Am I
Who
crazy to
was?
say this is his
Wait,
worst?
wait. Give me the list. Give me that list. I want to hear that.
Sidney
I want
Moncrief,
to hear that list.
Tree Rollins, Larry Bird.
If this
Wait.
is his worst defensive year out of these, like out of the years we said so far.
No. Give me the players. Like 5, 6 players in that list.
So there is only 6 players on here. So Sidney Moncrief got 14 first place votes. Trey Rollins got 10 first place votes. Larry Bird got 6 first place votes. Maurice Cheeks got 6 first place votes. Michael Cooper got 6 first place votes. And Bobby Jones got 6 first place votes. They only
Okay.
voted first place.
Nice.
But
I don't know how I feel about him getting as many votes as Bobby
it's
Jones.
also the first year of the award, so let's give them a little bit of
I mean, Bobby Jones. That's
Bobby
crazy.
Jones was like that. Don't even.
No. I'm saying that's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying like to give Larry Bird as many votes as Bobby Jones is crazy.
They was hyping that. They was definitely hyping this. These gaps he was filling. I'll say that.
I mean, wasn't Bobby Jones white?
Bobby Jones was white.
Like he was a crazy like defender. Like Bobby Jones was an insane defender. I don't know how.
He's one of the. He might be the best forward defender. He's definitely up there.
Yeah, that's crazy to give Larry Bird. That's crazy. I mean, Larry Bird ahead of Bobby Jones in a defensive.
They were all
voting.
equal. They were all tied for third. Like all of them was tied for
Yeah,
third.
that's crazy to me. I don't see how they thought Larry Bird was as good as Bobby Jones as a defender. Not gonna lie, but I mean,
And Sydney won that year, right?
Sidney Moncrief won that year. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, makes sense.
thankfully.
There's just no way he wouldn't win that year. So
No. Could you imagine if Larry Bird had a Defensive Player of the Year winner?
oh my!
You know how much
man.
we would hear for that?
The manipulation from the 40, 50-year-old
Heads.
crazy.
Oh my god! If you even dared to suggest, like, I don't know, LeBron and Kobe was better than Bird on defense, then you just get here. Oh no, they never won Defense Player of the Year. You would have won it in the first year of the award. I'm like, okay. Okay, at
I
least they
mean,
got.
he got as many votes as Bobby Jones. That's bad enough.
All right, but I think this is also because they changed coach the next year, so I think this is probably the last year of these kind of bundle up years. They do flame out more in the playoffs, but his drop isn't as significant. So I don't know if we should rank this higher or lower. He misses 3 games, so not anything to note of. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking about the ranking?
Let's just rank it higher because why not?
There's not really like with Magic. I felt like the years was more separated in a sense because it was so clear when they changed the play style. I don't feel the same way with Bird in a sense.
And
Like,
also,
you see it a
Magic
little bit.
kept adding things to his game every year. Bird is like the same player for 3 years, but I still would say that I'd assume he at least got a little bit better. We didn't watch all 82 games, of course, but let's just.
He got better at not being knocked off his spot, like a lot better. So him being able to get those contested mid ranges were definitely better. Him being on in the post because him being stronger also helped. That definitely did help him get his scoring a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, so that year was the best year so far then?
Yeah, we can put it. I think we level up now. So 1984. Let me just get the Boston Celtics basics here.
Dennis Johnson.
So in 84, They end up winning the championship, beating the Lakers in the finals. This is the first year of Casey Jones as their head coach. They win 62 games. Like you said, Dennis Johnson, this is his first year.
Mhm.
They still have Cedric Maxwell, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, Danny Ainge is on the team.
Yeah,
Gerald Henderson, when I watched, if if I'm not mistaking him for someone else, I feel like he did some really good things.
he was good. He was a good energy player.
MLK, Quinn Buckner is a name. Like there's names at least you've heard of here.
This
I
is
would say they get a little better when they add Walton later in the decade, but I think this is where they start to be the other stacked team in the league, where the the Lakers we talked about when we talked about Magic was absurdly stacked, but Celtics was not far behind. Like these two teams were far ahead of the competitors when coming to talent.
I mean, they were stacked in the first 2 years as well. It's just 82 and 83 were the years they kind of. It was like the transition years before Dennis Johnson got there because Kevin McHale was still so young and learning how to play. But 80 with Dave Cowens and 81 when they got Robert Parrish and Tiny Archibald was still good, but after that he declined. So I'd say that with the addition of Dennis Johnson, because he was of course a star, Cedric Maxwell I think is not there anymore. Uh, so like yeah, that now is Dennis Johnson is a great addition. As a player, he's very underrated. If we make an underrated players video, he's definitely gonna be in there. Um,
That is
yeah, him
true.
and Bobby Jones, since we mentioned Bobby Jones today. But yeah, Dennis Johnson is a great addition. I mentioned Tony Archibald a lot. I mean, Tiny Archibald a lot, but Dennis Johnson is definitely an upgrade because of his defense and just his overall impact as a player, like as a name value player. He's a star. He's Finals MVP, and you add this guy to an already 60 win, multiple times 60 win team with a crazy front court like that. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. That to me is yeah, they're a super team now.
this is around the time where Larry Bird can handle the ball, and that playoff scoring, man, that boy was good. He one thing I think that he been really good in this playoffs, which they did with him every other season. He didn't get sped up. He got what he wanted. He went to the spots he wanted to go to. He wasn't getting bumped off bounds as much. He can actually go to the paint. He can actually like get with other people his size. I think that was when this is the playoffs where you can say like, yeah, this guy is probably the best player in the league at this point.
Actually, this year instead of dropping, he actually increases both his volume and efficiency, going up about 2 points per 100 possessions more in volume, and his true shooting is like 5 percentage point higher. So they were like Larry Bird had playoff drop seasons. He also had non-playoff drop seasons, and this is
Yeah.
definitely one of them. Yeah, they win. They beat the Lakers in 7 games, and I think he's just more involved. Like he's more in. Like they run the offense more for him. Also with McHale, they do a little bit of big pick and roll. You see sometimes they post up McHale. They also try to post up Larry. They have him run around screens, spotting up. They post up Parrish bit, it not that much. They let Dennis Johnson go a little bit, but they had a very varied attack, I would say, where they could go in a very different way, and Larry could fit in around all of this. If McHale was posting up, he could either cut around it, he could space out. If Dennis Johnson was running something, he could interact with other people, set off all screens. He could run off the screens. He could have been Danny Ainge was running off the screen. He could set a screen, then turn around, get like cut around that. He had this is where his like off ball game like bag was getting complete, where he just knew every single move that needed to be made, and he did it. His passing, I would say, also goes up. He's makes more of these connected passes. I think it was this season where I saw him make outlet passes where he hit like three passes in a game for layups.
This is
He
Or
did
what
it a lot.
this
Even
is
in his
what
rookie
he's the
season, he
gold
did that.
he's the gold outlet passer.
this is
Like
what a time where he became was this might be a crazy take to be saying, but because I thought about this before. This year and the next year, are we sure that he wasn't a better skip passer than Magic Johnson?
what do you mean
No,
skip?
he was not. He was
Like
not.
I understand Magic is the all time goat in passing, but yo, this man he was hitting skip passes that like yo, I don't through windows I didn't think existed. He was hitting passes where I had to go back and rewind the game. I'm thinking to myself like there's no way this was actually somewhere you can hit a pass from, and he's doing it. He's I
I
don't know.
think
It's just
84 you can make the case.
it's
Because I do think Magic stepped like leveled up as a passer like maybe the next year. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think the other thing with Larry is that he had the complete passing back. He could do it on the ball, he could do it coming off screens, just finding who reacted to him. He's like I said, the gold outlet passer. Like I think his outlet passing speaks to one of his biggest strengths is his like this is a pin word. His court mapping. Like he like mapped the court whenever something happened. As soon as they scored, he like knew where everyone was. Is there an outlet open? Boom, I hit it. Like he is maybe the best court mapper of all time.
this is also what his entry passing I like better mainly because like people like this is when they kind of get their offense to more like for like Kevin McHale and have him play on the block a little more because he couldn't really get the ball at this point to like for himself. So that he will always make like these crazy entry passes. He always draw like two defenders and like, not even like draw them, but he always draw like he always get their attention because they're asking, okay, where's Larry at? Boom, screen, get the ball. Oh, I guess and somehow it just ended up in Kevin McHale's hands. That's 2 points. Like he was really, really good at that.
Um,
I want to
and
say something to this, though. Since we're talking about Magic and Bird's passing, they're both two of the greatest passers ever, but I think their passing is like they're polar opposites in the way they pass or
Yeah.
the way they play make in general. Like Magic is, I think I talked about this a lot in his episode, is very intuitive and like whimsical. Whereas Larry Bird, like Elmar said, he maps the court and he's very, like I said earlier, surgical. So they are like one of them is like a strategist while the other is on the run at all times, making the decision on the fly. So yeah, that's like um they're polar opposites in the way they approach playmaking, but they both end up making great plays. So
I
I
def-
still I still say Magic is better though. In
I,
every pass, like the skip pass particularly too. I'm still for Magic there.
I definitely think Magic. Magic is the type of player where he just knew. Like he didn't have to court map. He just knew. For some, and I don't understand that. I don't get how he can do that to that level. At least when he did it, because he just the problem. I guess the problem with Bird's passing, even though there was much problems with Bird's passing, was there would be times when Bird will take like he's obviously really fast at processing the game, but there will be times where like him processing the game and he's not doing it as instinctively as someone like a Magic would. So then the team would, I would say, more be prepared for the passes he's going to make more than something like Magic, where Magic is giving his team so many open looks because the team is they don't have a time to actually think where Magic's going to pass. They don't have the time to think, okay, where is Magic thinking about going? Magic just does it, and that's why I said the take might be kind of crazy for me because Magic was just really good at getting open shots and that the ability to make every I don't say every pass, the ability to make every almost every pass to a okay shooter the best shot in the game was something to actually be behold right there. That's something I don't think Bird had the ability to as much as Medic ever did.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what did I want to say?
Should move to the next tier now.
Yes, I'll put this first. I hope no one has any issue.
Yeah, you're not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
get
oh yeah, this is the
any
best one. Yeah.
comments about that.
Let me just see. I just need how many games. Yes. Here's the came off the bench again this year, which is a little fun. Did that a lot. We go 1985, and here they end up losing in the finals to the Lakers
Yeah.
in
Crazy.
6 games. Larry Bird wins his second straight MVP. He the Celtics end up winning 63 games, and I think this is his highest scoring year in the regular season at 28.7 points per game.
This is when he started shooting the three a little more. Like
Yes, this is the
rest
first
of the
year.
league, this is when like he became like yeah, he's the best 3-point shooter probably.
I think, yeah, I think it might actually be like the next year he starts. He shoots a little more threes than he did the previous years, but like the next year, like this year's at 2 per 100 possessions. The previous year is like at 1, and then the next year he goes to 3, 4 per 100 possessions. Like so, yeah, he's definitely like this is where they really start to like change a little bit with the coaching change, like him, like just him allowing himself to take more threes. I don't like. What's in your opinion? Is there any difference from '84 that we just spoke about in terms?
His effort on defense is better this year. I think his effort on defense was something that it was swaying from time to time. I think I don't think a lot of time, but I think and especially in the playoffs, he will get irritated and he will I won't say give up on a play, but then he'll get irritated, become tunnel vision on the play, and then because he's not a good one-on-one defender, he has to play within his team and be like that good team defender. So you can't afford to be tunnel vision doing that, and this is when like that kind of just disappears. I think that's one thing that gets highlighted a whole bunch that should be highlighted a whole bunch this year. I like the scoring. I think definitely the scoring went up. He became is this probably he's the best in the league at this point? As I hate to say, he's probably just maybe the best player. Kareem
Yeah,
falls off, so
it's,
after James falling off, is yeah, he's just the best in the NBA.
yeah. I think he was that from '84 to '86. That was his the three. Like Larry was clearly the best in the league, and I think you could
Yeah,
make arguments for before '84. I don't know if you would win
this is
those.
when the peak of
Eight.
this is at the time where you can argue this was just the greatest offensive peak we've seen ever at this point in time.
Maybe,
I think
yeah.
I'd have a hard time with that because of maybe some of the scoring issues and the playoffs scoring issues and the finishing. So I think I would have a hard time with like Steph and MJ and maybe
Well,
MJ.
I mean just like from this point on, and then history backwards from what it was. Not yeah, that's
Oh,
what I mean by that. Like not
ah,
that.
no, I think you definitely, yeah.
This is when like yeah,
No,
he's in that realm of
the other one is
you can't
Kareem.
stop him.
That
Yeah.
would be the other one.
No, Jerry West is up there. Well,
Jerry and Oscar would be the two other ones you could argue, and then Kareem.
Bill
But I
Walton
would.
got 1 year. Just a little bit. Bill Walton just got 1 year when he was
Who you said?
what was it? I was tripping. Bill Walton that 1 year he was going crazy.
Oh no, I mean Bill was also more like a two-way pick. It was like his
Yeah,
defense was a
but
lot of his impact. But
Bill Walton was, yeah, his
but
1 year
speaking
was
of
great.
Walton, he joins the Celtics not this year but next year. So both of the '80s dynasties get an MVP winning center coming off their bench.
Yeah, Bob McAdoo and Bill Walton.
Bill Walton.
This team was so stacked. Like you, this
I
team
think
was
I
so
think
stacked.
the Lakers ran a lineup in '82 that had 3 or 4 Hall of Famers and two-time All-Star and an All Defensive Player, and neither of Magic or Kareem was on the court.
Who was that?
Neither
Norm
of Kareem or
Nixon
Magic
and
was on the court. There
who,
was
who was that?
three Hall of
Norm and
Famers.
who else? Who was that
It
also?
was Bob. It was Bob McAdoo, Michael Cooper, Norm Nixon was the two-time All-Star, Jamal Wilkes, and then they had I can't remember what his name was. Someone that made all defensive teams in the '70s.
Maybe
Goodness.
Kurt Rambis.
No, it wasn't Carimbus. It was like some black forward or something.
Uh,
I can't remember. I think it was his name was Jordan or something. I can't remember what it was. But they like that's none of these two all-time great the best point guard and center arguably ever on the court. The 3 Hall of Famers on the court with a two-time All-Star.
And we
Like
taxed KD from his teammates.
man, oh my
Man.
god.
Man.
If
I
I
mean, at
say
least these guys won. Yeah, I
dude,
mean,
no shit that the Magic and Kareem won more than Jokic or Giannis. They had fucking 10 Hall of Famers, and they were all like good at the time.
Only if KD could have like had torn his Achilles and his second best player won the chip for him. That'd be a blessing, right?
Oh
That'd
my
be a
god, yeah.
blessing.
If I say that the Bird and McHale in '85 and '86 are better than any year of Kareem and Magic, what would you say to that?
you're talking about this year being better than any year
Like
of career.
'86 of Bird and McHale as a duo is
Oh,
better
I'll
than
agree. I would agree. Yeah.
As
yes.
a duo, maybe because Magic, by the time Magic became like a top three player in the league, Kareem was old. So, although I do think old Kareem is a great player, but maybe that year, like McHale, that year was crazy.
I'll be honest. I think you have a better. I think you have a better chance of arguing Worthy and Magic than Kareem and Magic at that point.
Yeah,
I would, I
the
wouldn't go
year
that
would
far.
have to go to would be like you say Kareem was just so good in 1980 that that makes up for the clear gap between McHale and what's his name, Magic. But I would have a hard time arguing that. But like,
You
I mean,
could.
Maybe.
I wouldn't have said. I couldn't even say like yeah, Kareem was better at this, but at this point, McHale was probably the second best post scorer we've seen.
Yeah, but maybe if we're talking about like 82 or 83, Kareem was still that good, while Magic was starting to be a better player. Uh, like he was in that Kevin McHale realm. But Kevin McHale was just exceptionally good that time. But I want to say something here though about Larry Bird's scoring jump. This was not just a jump in total points, but also in efficiency. His 3 points went up, and his efficiency in general went up, and that was him being more aggressive. And I felt like he's one of those guys that when he was more aggressive, he actually shot better. I don't know why, but it felt like when he took multiple shots in a row, he'd get in a rhythm, and that's. I think he should have shot more earlier, but that was the year that he decided, okay, like I'm a better scorer than this. Like I'm way too good to be taking only enough shots to score like 22, 24. I can score 30, and he did. That year he was 28.7. I think in 88 he was 29.9, nearly 30 points. So that was the first year he was like among the league leaders in scoring. So yeah, I like aggressive Larry Bird. That's why I was talking about the Jokic take. It was that year and the year that like that peak, that scoring peak. Because Jokic is not that aggressive as a scorer at all. Even when his team needs it, he doesn't take enough shots. And when he does, like football said, it's very streaky. Larry Bird being this aggressive, playing with this high motor and scoring like that. And also, even though his defense is not perfect, it's way better than Jokic's for his era at least.
That I'll be honest. If you I'll have to sit
Uh,
with that a little more. I don't know because I think I said on I don't know if you saw. I think I made the take what I'm firmly believing and standing on now is that for me, you know how you say MJ is just tier one and then everyone else is tier two. He's that good in terms
yeah,
of scoring. I
As an
think
off, as a
I,
what?
as a scorer,
Okay.
I'm of the belief now that just off the 3 year run through the playoffs alone, I've never seen better offensive players than LeBron and MJ. And I think at this point I'm with the logic of they're tier one, everyone else is tier two. That's how I see it at this point for me.
you mean offensively, LeBron and MJ
Offensively, I'm
tier
at
one?
I'm at
I
that level right now.
I'm not
Those
mad
two
at.
are tier one, and everybody else is tier two.
I'm not.
I think I would have a hard time not having Steph in there. That's just I think Steph is definitely, especially when you say like 16, 17, 18, even 19, like 19, like just the inherent the value and how he broke defenses in like a way that just changed everything for how you played them. I would have a hard time not having Steph in there.
I don't think Steph played better offensively than 18 than LeBron did. I also don't think he played. I think they were almost on the same level at
Yeah, but
17, but I think
that's also
LeBron.
like LeBron's peak. And
Yeah,
if they're the same level, like 18 would probably be LeBron's offensive peak, or like 16, 17,
yeah.
18, because that's when he still had the athleticism and his shot was going, like he got more of the shot, more of the offensive skill. He just knew how to attack more. Like in he's a better player in like 13 and maybe even 09 and 10 because of the defense. But on offense, I would say 17, 18 is his peak. But and Steph is definitely in the conversation with that. I think.
It depends. I actually have a hard time comparing LeBron and Steph's offense. They're two. I know the word two different players is overused, but with these two specifically, it's impossible for me to make that comparison. I do not know who's the better player is because LeBron is clearly the better player, but in terms of who is actually more impactful on offense for his team, Steph is probably the most impactful offensive player ever, but is he actually the best offensive player ever? I don't think so. I think LeBron is a better offensive player on his own, whereas Steph is a more impactful offensive player for the players around him and his system. So the way they approach the game is very different, and that's why it's very difficult to make that comparison.
Yes.
Larry Bird, for example, does both. Uh, since we're talking about Bird, I still would love to add my Shaq to that list because I'm just I'm a Shaq guy. I'll always be a Shaq guy. So
I think my problem with these shooters is that compared to someone like LeBron, I think just in his time where he reaches his offensive peak compared to Steph Curry reaching the offensive peak, someone like Larry Bird, there was less variance to be like, okay, well, LeBron making shots today. LeBron's not missing at the rim, and you also can't stop him from getting there. And at that time, he was not obviously not as good as Steph at it, but making his threes, he can do the mid range, he can definitely pass better than Steph. His playmaking was all like if you didn't have someone who can, if you didn't have a really athletic wing that can switch a lot, then you just couldn't stop LeBron at that point. There's nothing you
yeah,
can do.
in
Like, if you
terms
wouldn't,
of being stoppable,
like,
it's actually Steph's weakness compared to the other all-time great offensive player. He's the most stoppable offensive great because of his size. Guards tend to be more stoppable than bigger players. Even like I think Kobe's probably second for the same reason. And that's part of why I think MJ is special because he's 6'6" like Kobe, but he was unstoppable. I'm not saying Kobe and Steph are stoppable, but I'm saying like compared to guys
yeah,
like
compared to the all
LeBron,
time greats, yeah, I
LeBron,
understand.
KD, like Shaq, Larry Bird, all of these guys are not Larry Bird, but I mean,
I think
uh,
I think with Steph, and I think this talks into a lot of Larry Bird's value. It's like the way the way you have to stop Steph, you have to commit your whole team to stopping Steph. There's no one guy. It's not packing the paint. It's you have to be so aware at all times when he's running off any screen that you don't end up doing anything wrong, or you end up giving up a layup or an open three to Steph or Clay Thompson. It's like
Yeah,
the way you have to commit resources to Steph, and in a sense also Larry Bird, because he could do this play off of him and McHale, where if you ever fucked up one place, then there would just be a layup. He would either find it with a pass, someone would cut off his gravity, he would turn around, like he would get a quick seal off a layup. Like there is this sense of you have to commit your whole team to stopping this guy. It's more with
yeah.
Steph than Larry.
Steph, Larry, and Kobe are in that category of like having a lot of gravity of the pull. But I will say this: Shaq is a guy that they would commit the whole
Shaq,
team, and they would
Shaq,
still like
it's like
concede.
Shaq and Steph are the two you commit everything you have to stop this one guy, and
Yeah,
that
but
just
with Shaq,
creates.
even after committing everything, he would still score on you anyway.
This might be this might be this is one that I have a hard time grading this player. Because when we say stuff like that. What do you put Giannis then?
I
Because the
think
only
I think
only
with
time we
Giannis,
only time we've seen Giannis get stopped was you commit your whole team to stopping him. That was the only time we've seen it happen.
but I
Yeah,
think it's the thing with Steph is because Steph is a threat around the whole court at all times. Like the area you have to defend with Steph is basically the whole 3 point line. There's obviously way more space. That's more space to cover than not just the paint, but just the paint. So I will say, like in a sense, that's why he's so hard to stop because he can be a threat from anywhere. Whereas like Shaq, not that Shaq isn't an enormous threat, he is, but that's why he can match that level of threat that Shaq was, even though he maybe can't score through triple teams. Even though Steph would have games where he would just go off, even if you committed the whole team to stopping him. That
yeah,
was
I
definitely
agree because I hate it when people say, "Oh, but his teammates were making shots." I think if you're playing next to Steph and you're not making shots, you should not be in the NBA. I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
Like, if you shouldn't even be playing in the EuroLeague. Like, just like maybe come play in Egypt, I guess. Anyway, let's go back to Larry Bird.
All
I
right.
think we need to rank 85. I think because there was a slight playoff drop in 85 that maybe wasn't in 84. I could be tempted to say 84 was better, but that's only because of the playoffs. Um, but I want feedback on that.
I think that defense was just better in '85 though, which
I
is
don't,
compared to '84.
I don't know how much I think the defense was worse though. I do think we haven't talked a lot about Bird's defense, but I do think he's still. I do think the younger he was probably more energetic, more in the his big strength compared to actually Magic is that he didn't give up this enormous weakness on the glass that Magic did when they played the forward both because Bird was a really good rebounder for
Mm-hmm.
forward. So and I do think that's but yeah, he did get a little more where the later he got. So I would say I don't think 85 is that much better than 84, but I could definitely.
I'm not willing to die on the hill about it, but
I mean,
this
does this have more to do with him playing the three more?
might.
I don't
Because
know.
It might.
he's not a
But I
big man, but he's defending. I mean, he's rebounding, and when you're a three and you're rebounding in double digits, that's an advantage, of course. Like that's an underrated advantage because the other two are also getting rebounds.
he was
It's
also a
not like
great offensive rebounder, by the way. Really good
yeah,
offensive.
yeah. I'm saying like he's not taking the rebounds from them; he's adding to their rebounds.
For sure.
Uh, so him at the three elevated his advantage as a rebounder on both ends. That includes the defense, and he's not defending big men anymore, so he's not getting bodied. He's just defending off-ball players that are mostly not really scoring that much. So I think maybe the defense being better is just him not being easily hunted anymore because he's not a big man. So that could be part of it. Because when you're a small forward in an era where there aren't that many elite small forwards, I think it's easier to be a good defender because you're
I
not.
mean, I know Basketball Reference lists Larry Bird as the power forward on the 1984 Celtics, but to me, I don't feel like I saw a big difference in those years in what position he played. So I don't know.
His style of play in offense was the same. I'm just saying on defense, he's not guarding. If McHale and Parrish are with him,
Yeah,
he's not guarding a big man anymore. He's just guarding a guy who's standing there, like.
that's
Uh,
true.
and if they have a great wing scorer, they'll probably give that wing scorer to someone else, like maybe a Dennis Johnson, because Dennis Johnson he was like 6'4", I think, 6'5". He was tall enough and big enough to defend like good scoring wings. So he would guard the worst of the two, and that would make him like you could hide Larry Bird on defense in that year. But I don't think he needed hiding. He wasn't bad. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
He also just wouldn't back down. That's one thing I think I liked about it. He just that year he was so much more. I'm not gonna just let you score type guy. I'm not. I'm gonna get you. I have long arms. At the end of the day, I'm gonna put my body into you. You're not gonna be able to just score on me anytime you want. I think he was
actually,
one
I
of those
think,
guys.
yeah, I think his defense before the shot was better than his actual shot defense. Like
I
his
actually want to add one thing we forgot to say. I think we said it when we talked about Magic, actually. But Larry Bird actually does get injured in the 1985 playoffs. He ends up in a bar fight, if I'm not mistaken, and ended up getting a sore elbow.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
So
And
I would say also he wasn't that good in the finals, especially.
yeah,
So I would probably say that's a good reason to put 84 above 85.
maybe, maybe, but I would say that again about the defense. Like I said, I think he's not that good at defending the shot. He doesn't contest as many shots as he should. Let me just say that he sometimes just decides like when the player is on the shooting motion, he goes to box out and defend like the rebound. But before the shot, he's a very good defender. He like especially before the player takes the ball, like he's a very good off-ball defender in terms of denying his player the ball and playing the passing lanes and directing the defense. He's a very good like communicator on defense, and he can read the play well, the same way he does on offense. He knows where the players are moving and he defends them well off the ball. But when they're about to shoot, that's I think where he gets. That's the issue I had from the games I watched. So he doesn't contest a lot of shots.
All right.
Alright.
So, yes, so we go to 1986. This is what most people call Bird's Peak. They end up beating the Houston Rockets in the championship in the finals. He wins his third straight MVP, second finals MVP, not straight, but just second finals MVP. This is their third and last championship. He let me just give the basic numbers. I think they won like 67 games without going back checking it right now. But if I give it the basic numbers, he actually had 26 points per game, but he also plays a little less minutes. He actually plays 38, which is kind of the year before he played like 39 and a half, and the year after he plays 40 and a half. But I would imagine that's because they were blowing teams out, because the 1986 Celtics is one of the best teams of all time, winning 67 games and winning the championship, sweeping in the first round, winning in 5 in the second round, sweeping the conference finals, and winning in 6 in the finals. So this is definitely one of those all-time teams.
This is the time where this season, some of last season, especially this season, where you can make the argument you can make an argument he's probably one of the 10 best scorers of all time off this season alone. I think. I think this season is when I think unstoppable is an understatement right here. I think this is when, especially in that regular season, where it doesn't show it because I'm pretty sure we can't track mid ranges from the 80s. I'm pretty sure, right?
No,
But
you can't, unfortunately.
I promise you, he didn't miss from mid range. I know. I think I said that like 2 times already, but I mean, any part of the court where you want him to get to mid range, times even when he went to get a 3, he missed like that. This is also point of time where his post play became probably the best it's ever been because
Yes, that's
I
actually
don't know.
another.
I don't know why. I don't know why he wasn't. I don't know why he wasn't doing this before. But something that I always thought that something I thought that he probably could have done in like the earlier years is that he probably didn't need to try to get into the post himself. He probably could have someone give him the ball there instead of trying to relocate to into like the 2-point line more. But then because when he got to that post, it's like, and especially he's playing against other threes and he's playing against these fours who aren't able to handle because he can't jump fast, like he can't jump high and jump fast, but he can move side to side. He can do his little 1-2, like he can do like one little 1-2 step where people his size couldn't keep up, and he just knocked that down every time. I think that's very underrated about his game from that season. Where
I'll also say because I think Mikhail misses like they have those stretch where Mikhail misses like 10 straight games. They go 9-1 in that stretch. Like I think there is so many clear signals that as long as Larry Bird was on the Boston Celtics, this is like a 60-60 win pace team. Like every
Yeah.
time. Larry Bird is like the main driver of this team. Like I mentioned in one of those stretches without Mikhail, they actually use him a bit like Mikhail, where they post him up a lot, and like they just play through him on the post, use him to score off the post, and he was a really good post player. Not as good as Mikhail, but Mikhail's also one of like maybe the best ever. But his footwork on the post was immaculate. He could turn it into a little step back shot. He could turn that into getting to the rim. I think this is also a year where his efficiency actually goes up in the playoffs. He's at like 62% true shooting, which is really, really
oh
good.
my goodness,
That is insane for you.
I think that's
Yeah, I was
possible.
about to say it. This is an insane efficient season for him. It's insane, and this is also. Did they get Bill Walton this year or the year before?
This is the first year with Bill Walton.
Yeah, I mean it's only 7 points a game, but still, like they have
He's
another
good on
big man.
defense. Yeah, that is plus
Um,
8. So shout out Larry.
Yeah,
like
and they were almost, I think, the best team on both ends, which is
Maybe.
crazy. I mean, they were the best defensive team in the
They
league,
were
and they
the
were one
best
of the
defensive team and the third best offensive team. That's maybe
yeah.
one
They
of
were,
the kinks in Larry Bird's armor as an offensive player is that the the Celtics weren't really an offensive juggernaut like the Lakers were. Like if you compare him to Magic, like Magic was just tuning out like top one, like the best offense in the league, which would
yeah,
stand for like until the Nash, Mavs, and Suns would like. That's where they would like they were like the reason the Celtics wasn't number one is because the Lakers were number one.
yeah,
also they didn't play fast enough either. At least they didn't play near as fast as the Lakers because of obviously Kevin McHale. He wasn't not a player that can play fast enough to actually
yeah,
get into that offense that can turn it into like number one possibly ever. So
yeah. It was the whole team, not just Kevin McHale. I think even
well,
since
yeah.
the early '80s, They were a slow team because of the personnel. Like in the beginning, it was Dave Cowens, a post-up big man, replaced by Robert Parrish, another post-up big man, and their point guards. The only one who was fast-paced, like Tiny Archibald, maybe the first or second year of Bird. Yeah, sure, he was fast, but not very fast. And then when Dennis Johnson came, it was like they're fully committed to a slow pace because now they have a slow paced point guard setting the table, and the whole team is a team of slow paced players. So that they didn't have anyone pushing the tempo after Tiny Archibald.
They didn't really need to because honestly, this half court offense was
Yeah, they were
how many
the
how
only
how many half court offenses in history can you even think that's better than this one?
not many because they were relying heavily on the half court. The only thing they did in transition was Larry Bird's outlet passes sometimes to
They would also run a bit, especially when they played the Lakers. Actually, they would get out and run. I think Bird would be one of the main catalysts of okay, we need to push pace a little bit, make up some game here in the transition game.
But the Lakers made you run, so I think that's also a Lakers thing as well.
We-
They kind of
we-
forced you to run.
Let me find the stat again. We had a stat last time when we did Magic, where
it was
the
like
Lakers
it was like 100 points to like 2 points in transition or something like that.
over two games.
Oh, Jesus.
2 games against the Celtics, they had like 102 points or something. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, there was a crazy stat about the difference in transition points between the two teams. I think Larry Bird was the only one trying to play in transition. He was a great transition
So
player.
in one game, it was 16-49. In the other game, it was 7-57.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Celtics dog. I don't know if Celtics is having a bad personnel for transition.
I just think
that's
like
that's
the
just yeah, that's
Lakers-
just telling the Lakers just transition wise, that team was just different, yo. I can't.
That's-
It's both. It's both. Like seven-
guarding Steph is hard, and you hate guarding Steph at this point in your time at 2016, you would hated the Lakers. They kept you they kept you in motion at like 24/7. There's motion
Dude,
everywhere.
the thing with
Flying
the Lakers
everywhere.
and like Magic is. I think there was a PC clip at some point about the best transition players ever, and it was almost like only Magic, like not Magic, LeBron and Giannis. And I feel like Magic is probably under discussed in that because
I think the problem with that was just the defense was holding them back for those talks. I think.
no, but like as an like offensive transition.
Oh, offensively, he might be
Yeah.
the best.
But like because Magic would also have this, like he would make everything transition. You might think it isn't transition. It's transition if Magic wants it to be transition.
Yeah.
They ran off an offensive foul. They got transition of offensive fouls.
Yeah, sometimes the 5 players are back, but he's running like it's a transition play, and he
And
does.
someone isn't standing where they're supposed to be, and then it's a layup. Like
Yeah, like he was a crazy runner.
Okay, but
And
back-
the Celtics
back
were
to Bird.
exceptionally slow. It was both. Like the Lakers were
Bird-
exceptionally fast, and the Celtics were exceptionally slow.
the Bird was their main source of like transition of kind of getting them out. They're just pushing the pace without it being anything crazy. But yeah, 86 is, I would say 86 is Bird's best year. So
All right, boys. I gotta go. I got
I
work. I got
appreciate
work in
it,
about
brother.
10. Yeah,
Appreciate it, Linda.
good talks. Good talks. I appreciate y'all having me on. I appreciate
Like
it.
the
Yes,
video,
sir.
bro. Like
I
the
got
video.
you. I got you. All right. All right. I'll be good.
All right.
all right,
Shout out
man.
Jason
Let-
Grill.
Let's tune through these. I think 86. Let's just rank this number one. I don't see any.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on.
87. They lose in the finals to the Lakers, and they end up. Hold on. They end up with 59 wins. Larry Bird.
Yeah.
He only plays 74 games. I actually do miss 8 games, but he plays like 41 minutes per game. So
Yeah, that's
plays a lot of
41
minutes.
is crazy. It's crazy how we're saying 74 is missing games right now. We have an MVP race of players who are not even going to be eligible, most likely by the end of the year. But anyway, let's. I want to see a Kate Cunningham MVP this year, but
I
yeah,
just root for Anarchy.
let's focus on Larry Bird because we're running out of time and we still have like 5 years. So
Yeah, there's a what you call it, a slight. He was actually more efficient here in the regular season than he was previous years, but he does drop in the playoffs. So to like 58, which is still +4, so it's not inefficient by any means. But
mhm.
what did I watch? Yeah, I watched the finals from this. What's there to say about Larry Bird this year? I think you start to maybe notice the athleticism and energy not being quite as high as it was in the past. Like the effort plays is not there as much. The offensive rebounding actually goes back down a little bit here compared to previous years, even though he plays more minutes.
Yeah,
And
his rebounding was dropping since like the year before that. But offensive
I
rebounding,
think
particularly
this
this
might have
year.
also been when his back problem started. I think it actually started in the 86 off season. He helped the story is he helped remodel his mother's garage or something, and then he got a back injury from that. So I
Uh,
don't
bro,
shout out to her.
I mean, they couldn't afford someone to help? Uh, anyway,
They weren't paid that well. I think this is definitely in the 84, 85, 86 tier, but it's below 86.
yeah. I mean, in 2013, Steve Nash injured his back from carrying a luggage. I mean,
Stuff
that's
happens. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. Wow. So I would probably put this maybe I'll say below 84 and above 85 is
yeah.
my. He does miss a little bit of games, so that's not the. He plays more minutes, which would have maybe gotten it up.
Yeah.
But he also. So yeah, I'd say it's below 87, and now I think 88. He actually has a. Let me just look this.
It's his highest scoring regular season.
Is 88, but
Yeah, 30 points, I think.
he ends up. Let me just see here because he ends up getting hurt. I want to say, and he deals with like foot and back issues here, and ends up having to get surgery, which caused him to miss the next year. But
Yeah,
I do think it do hurt his play.
that's it.
Do you have anything to say?
I mean, the numbers are high, so
But I think what it, let me look at this quick. I think in the playoffs there's more of a drop. He plays 45 minutes a
yeah,
game,
yeah, of course. Because
scores like 24 and a half points.
45.
Plays 44.9
Yeah,
minutes in the playoffs. So he was definitely fighting through the injuries, and I just don't know if
playing that
he
many minutes while injured.
is crazy.
Yeah, it's diabolical. I don't know why they did that, but to each their own. I guess it's the gravity thing. But yeah, I mean, his regular season was great, but like you said, he was injured and he still played in the playoffs. He had that drop due to injury, and then we go to the injury. I think the next year he missed like almost a whole year, or
He
what
misses
was
the
it?
like all but like
Not-
5 games.
Yeah,
Let me actually just put that last. 1989.
Yeah, unless those 5 games were exception. No. So yeah.
The question is where to put it. I think it says something that you could put this below his rookie year, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong. I mean, that says something about how good he was early.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a season that almost didn't like he played 6 games. It's like there is nothing to any player can play 6 games and it would be below his rookie year. I mean,
No, I mean,
that's not
I
really.
mean, 88 could be below his rookie year. Like the year before
Oh,
that.
88.
I was like, it's just,
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
it's more that it says so much about how good he was like early on, in my opinion. But again, you also have the scoring. But I
I
think
don't
it would be
know.
more because of the postseason, like him getting. So,
I
okay.
disagree.
What I would go in on. I think it's below 86, 84, and 87 and 85. If I'm also not
Maybe, but
mistaken.
not. I don't know because he was second in MVP. He averaged like 30 points, like I said. That was also his career high in 3-point attempts. I don't know why
Well,
you want to put it so. I mean, except for the playoffs,
it is
which,
more like
yes,
he
but
gets hurt in the
he
playoffs,
wasn't
and
that good
then
in the playoffs when he
when they
was
play
younger.
Detroit, like against Detroit, he plays 46 minutes per game, but scores
He
20
still had
points.
higher numbers in the playoff
But that's
years.
like if you look at the Detroit series, he averages 20 points per game, playing 46 minutes. Like I do think that says something about it. That
I don't know.
I
I
think
think
okay,
88 is good.
I think it's probably because his injuries kind of make it a. Here's how I'd say it. If there's no back injuries and no decline, I think it's up there with all of these risks. I will agree on that. But because he was like here and then at the end he just goes like this, like that's when the value is needed the most. Like if he'd been injured in the start, get healthy and play great in the playoffs, then it's almost like okay, that doesn't hurt the championship out so much. But because it's you're hurt at the time when the playoffs happen, that really. But
Yeah, but
I
still, like
I
24, he still scored more than he did in the first like 4 years of his career in the playoffs.
that is true, but it's also because like Yellow does play a ton of minutes. Like that is propping up the numbers some. I don't know because, but it all like his middle years was also so good. Like not his middle, like every year was so good, but like 86, 84, 87, and 85 were just so good, like so amazing. And then when you have a year where there is a postseason injury, and that kind of you end up fizzling out at the end in a sense. I do think that's noteworthy, and that's why I would put it below. But
All right,
I could hear arguments for it being higher, especially with the regular season scoring.
all right, all right. It's fine. Let's move on.
No, but actually, I wanted. Where would you have put it if I had said nothing?
Oh my god, my internet is starting to shake.
Okay. Well, I just want to know
You,
where would you have put it if I hadn't said anything? Where was your first inclination of putting it?
uh, I think right behind his 3 MVPs.
Okay. So I think we're in the same ballpark.
Okay.
I think we're definitely in the same ballpark then. Okay. But we get 89, he gets this back and foot injuries are really
Yeah,
starting
let's
to.
just throw that year away.
Yeah, that's last. I 90 and 91. I think they're just below the rest. We'll probably just say 90 and 91. Like I don't think
Yeah, he was done.
he's better than his rookie years in my opinion. Watching him, I think he's less involved without. He also misses a ton of games. Okay, in 90 he doesn't miss that many games, but in 91 and 92 he misses like a big chunk of games.
Actually, 90 is one of those years where, yes, you see the numbers are similar to the years prior.
Yeah, but okay, Amir, you're cutting out again. So what I'm gonna okay, Amir, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make the executive decision to just put 90, then 91, and then 92, and
I don't
I
know
think this
if
is
you,
good.
because I got disconnected. So
I think what you were trying to say is that 90 is one of those he's back years, but it's not as like even though the numbers look like his rookie years, the impact is not the same.
yeah, he's not. It's better than his rookie season numbers wise, but his actual play, he was looking slow.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't, and his defense was struggling, like visibly. You could see like it was similar more to the next years, even though the next years were very bad in numbers. But that year was similar visibly, like when you watch him. So
Yes. So yeah, he starts missing a lot of games in his last couple 2 years. So are you good with us just going 1990, 1991, 1992, and then
yeah,
1989 is the last year? So let's round this off then. I don't. Is there any finishing thoughts before we get more internet troubles?
no, not really. I'm fine.
Okay. I hope we can go again. For me, it would have to be Saturday. We would have to go again. A little like around so an hour later than we did today. So that is 2 p.m. Eastern is 8 p.m. Danish time, or 3 p.m. Eastern would probably be. And I really hope we can get into most
Oh,
overrated players ever, unless you have any other suggestions. Okay, so I think we're just gonna call it then, and see you next Saturday on my channel. We'll try to communicate it out and
hello.
be there. I'll hope. I mean, you're there.
Yeah, but can you wrap it up? I don't know what's wrong with my connection.
I'll wrap it up. We hope to see
Yeah.
you Saturday on my channel, Drago FC23, and we'll try to get into the most overrated players ever. Hopefully, we'll have some more guests coming in. Thank you, Grillionaire. Thank you, Football, for coming by. It was great having you here. And see you next week.